Good morning, friends. This is Jelly Bean. Stay tuned because Morning Inspiration with Friends is about to start. Grab your coffee or tea and tune in as my mommy inspires you. I'm going back to sleep, but you enjoy the message.
Good morning. Good morning, Jelly Bean. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. It's your girl Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration here with another amazing message. Look, we are staying on the topic this week, how to make money, how to make extra money. And I just want to share my own testimony because sometimes, like, it reminded me, turn them notifications on. But I didn't get notified yesterday. My Google Workspace, shout out, someone signed up for that class yesterday. And they actually signed up like 12 a.m. So when I tell people, like, we can get paid in our sleep, you can get paid in your sleep. Post everywhere. Like, I wasn't going to keep my event on Eventbrite, but it looks like it might be working still. So do what you got to do. And then for Morning Inspiration with Friends, someone purchased yesterday as well, I think a hoodie and one of the mugs. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go ahead and get your morning inspiration. You should see, if you are on YouTube, you should see somewhere down here the products. You can get hoodies, t-shirts, and then we have mask still, we have other t-shirts. One of my favorite t-shirts is don't overthink yourself into remaining broke. Okay, that's definitely a message that we keep talking about it, right? And make sure you use promo code INSPIRE15 to get 15% off. So I'm just like, this is real. Like, this is real. And this is the reason why. Because on Monday, when we were going live, someone had comments and it was like, oh, that's cap. Nobody out here making passive income. Everything is not a scam. Everything is not cap. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Everything is not a scam. Are there scams out there? Absolutely. But everything is not a scam, right? Like I was listening to a video yesterday and someone had mentioned, like, don't you wish you would have took that serious when they was talking about selling Bitcoin back in like 2012 when we was getting those messages and AIM still? Like, that was a real situation. People were buying Bitcoin back in 2012 with pennies and they're now millionaires. It's real life. And a lot of us, including me, thought it was a scam. That's fake, right? Again, we're not proactive. We're not looking at what's coming. We're sticking on what's happening now. And that's why a lot of people end up. Something came up on my timeline this morning when I was on Threads. And I want to share this with you because this is what I'm talking about when I say use what you have to get what you need. Okay? So this morning on Threads, this person posted, literally had $0 in my account earlier today. Went to purchase litter for my cat and my card declined. Wanted to cry, but I had to remember that God has always provided for me. Chose not to stress. Turned on my Uber Eats delivery app, Instacart, and DoorDash. Now I'm up $400. This is what I'm talking about. When you don't have, you got to use what you have access to get what you need or whatever you want. This person was in a situation where they had nothing. But you know what they had access to? They had access to three apps. They turned on not one app, but they turned on three apps. And after they turned on those three apps, they was able to be up $400. So now they can get cat litter, gas, food, probably pay a bill off. $400 is not a lot, but it still can do something. So when I say to y'all, let's do things that we can actually have access with our phones. And that's just the ones that most people know about. Like, most people know about Uber Eats, DoorDash, right? That's a part of my course too, Inside Hustles 101. That is a part of it because guess what? In most major markets, those are definitely going to be available. I know, like, you guys know I'm in Tulsa, right? So when I was in preparation to moving here or deciding to move here, there was a gentleman who had moved here in 2020. And this is how 5 years, a 5-year difference. He said that because he came from Atlanta. And he said, look, if you come to Tulsa with the gig mentality, this was in 2020. He said, you're not going to make as much money because they don't do as much Ubers. Like out here, because of the fact that they don't have to like get their cars inspected. So people, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of people in Oklahoma's cars, I'm skeptical driving behind them because you just don't know if something's gonna blow up or not. So we tend to like, but a lot of people out here, they're not using Ubers in that capacity. Like New York City, we use Ubers, we use Lyft. Here, it's like, it's a hit or miss, right? I live 3 minutes from the airport. In order for me to get an Uber to come take me 3 minutes to the airport, sometimes I'm waiting 15, 20 minutes. So now it's just gotten to the point where unless I'm traveling for like 2 weeks and longer, I'm just going to drop to the airport and drive myself, right? Because there are not as many drivers out there. But now in 2025, it's gotten a lot better. It's still room for it. But this is the reason why I say Lyft, Uber Eats, those are different avenues. You can tap into them. But you also have to look at the alternatives, right? You have to go into, I want y'all to go into whatever app you have. If you have iPhone, go to Apple Store. If you have Android, go to Google Play and look and see which apps are there. I'm gonna throw off last week. I think I had threw out a couple of apps. So one of the apps that I want everyone to download is called Field Agent. Okay, I'm not even giving you my link. I just want you to just start going in there. Field Agent, and this is where I want to talk about the scam mindset. Field Agent it is an app where you basically are going into different stores, and I'm talking about stores like Family Dollar, Dollar General, Walmart, Target, Costco's. So if you know someone who's a Costco's member, tag them in this, and then I'm telling you, Costco's right now is going crazy on Field Agent, and it's at all the Costco's, not just like at one location. There's like so many stores. Dollar Tree sometimes is on there, supermarkets, right? So depending on what area you're in. When I was in New York, stores like ShopRite was on there, Stop and Shop. Like the small, like C-Town. If you're from New York City, you kind of know what supermarkets, Associate, like those stores were on there. And so I remember when the pandemic was happening. So everyone's wearing a mask because you're not really sure who people are. So I'm going into Dollar General and I see someone from Facebook. And so I'm thinking, like, is that someone? I don't know this person personally. We're just Facebook friends. They follow me, I follow them. And so I decided not to approach the person because I'm trying to respect social distance. But I sent them a message and I was like, hey, I saw you in Dollar General. I said, did I see you in Dollar General on so-and-so block? And he was like, oh, yeah. I said, you look real busy. Like he looked like he was doing something. And he was like, yeah, like he said, there's an app out there. It's called Field Agent. You make, you just do like small little gigs, take pictures of products, you upload it to the app and you get paid a couple of bucks. Do you know what he does professionally? He is a pilot. We all know how much pilots make, right? So a pilot is telling me about an app that you can make just a couple of extra bucks. If you're going to the store, you might as well look to see if Field Agent has anything. And while you're there, try to make a couple of bucks. Like it's really that simple. You can cash out immediately once they approve, once they confirm that you've completed the gig. They'll send you the money and it will automatically, you can cash out that day. There's been times when I first did Field Agent back in like 2021. Yeah, it was 2021 was the first time that I ever did it. And I remember like just having all these gigs. I needed gas. Like I did a challenge for myself. Like, can I make enough money to get the gas to fill up my tank in one weekend? And I did by Saturday. I didn't even have to do it Sunday, but I did because again, you just kind of get into that mojo of just being like, how can I do this, right? It's always great to have a little bit extra, right? I always feel as though I'm never going to have enough, okay? Because it's, until I'm a millionaire. And even then, I still, depending on after I pay them student loans off, still might not feel enough. So when I told this to other people. Yo, check out this app. Someone told me about it. Yo, I just made a couple of bucks. you're not going to make $50, $75 on one gig. But if you are going to this particular store, I don't recommend anyone going out their way 10 miles, 15 miles to go do a $5 gig. Absolutely not. But if you are going to go to Walmart, or if you're going to go to Costco's and Field Agent has a couple of gigs on there, that's $3, $5, $7 each. I am going to recommend that while you are there, that you try to tap in and get as much as that as possible. So one thing that the pilot said to me, he was like, yo, I just put that money into my account. He said, I don't even touch it. So he's letting it build in Field Agent, which I also don't recommend because apps shut down every day. I said, but he was like, when I need my upgrades for hotels and for, if I'm going on vacation and I'm not flying as a pilot, yeah, I have extra money that I can tap into if I need it. So I told this to people, that's for broke people. Huh? I'm like, this app is for anyone that just has a need. And a need is different by everyone. Everyone has a different need. But it's the mindset that came with that. Same thing with a few years ago, going back to Uber Eats. This guy was trying to holler at me. He fell on hard times. This is when Uber Eats was just starting the walking. So in areas like New York City, there were parts of New York City where if you were an Uber Eats delivery person and you did not have a car or bike or scooter, you were able to sign up to be a walking delivery person. So if you were in Manhattan was the prime location. If you were in Manhattan and you were willing to get on the app and work and walk and make deliveries, you can make some money. So I said this to this gentleman and he was like, nah, man, that's a scam. So I inquired, have you ever ordered anything from Uber Eats or DoorDash? He was like, yeah. I said, so if this is something that you've used as a consumer, how is it a scam as a person to make that delivery? The only thing that's going to switch is that you are no longer the consumer, you are the delivery person. That person who delivered to you, they looked real, right? They were not like a robot. It's a mindset, right? There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of fear. And I get it. This is the reason why you have to make a sound decision. Make a sound decision on what it is that you want. Make a sound decision on whether or not this is something that's going to be useful to you. Then dive in there and start doing your research. Everything is not a scam. Everything is not you need to pay $50, $10, $5. Everything is not that way. Some of you got to sit and take time to actually go forth and start looking and doing your own research. Not go on social media and ask social media. Literally, don't even go into Chat GPT yet. Go into, I gave you the easiest strategy. Go into your store, Apple or Google Play. Why does it keep saying they can't connect me to the Apple store? Oh, my bad. I got two different links to the Apple store. Right? So if you go into the Apple store, make money. So I'm in the Apple store right now. I just put in make money. Of course, the first few ones are, because they pay to be up there, are the games. But if you scroll down, you got Amazon Flex. Amazon Flex is another way. I'm actually on the waiting list for Amazon Flex in my area, just to put myself on a waiting list. You got apps where you can make money with your steps. That one, I think you might have to put some up. What else do we have? We have Instacart. We have Spark Driver. Which other ones? InstaWork. I've seen InstaWork, especially in New York. So if you're in big cities, you might want to look at InstaWork. Shipped. Right? WAG. You could be a pet caregiver. Guys, just going into your app is going to give you some answers. It's going to tell you the different ways that you can make money. It's right there. Just go in and say, make money. Bypass the ones that say get paid for surveys. Bypass the ones for gap for gains. Look at the ones InstaWork, Amazon Flex. Like if you are a driver, everyone needs to be on Amazon Flex. At least put yourself on the waiting list. We never know what's gonna happen. You don't know when life is gonna life. I have all my apps updated because you just never know. Uber Eats, stay updated because I never know when I need to turn on that app and start making deliveries. DoorDash, you just never know. But this is something that as of now, see the financial struggle I went through in 2016, we didn't have, I think Uber probably just started, right? I think Uber had just started with just the driving in like 2015, 2016. And I remember that. Even that was kind of crazy, right? Because I remember people, because like again, I'm from a big city where you had to call a cab, you had to speak to the dispatcher. So it was kind of weird, like just from our cell phone, we just out here just calling a car, and it's a random person whose car is just now gonna be my cab. Like we was really hesitant. We was really, really hesitant. And that's why it took time. So when they saw that, but I don't think Uber Eats as a delivery person came out until like 2017 in New York City. I wish I had this information. I wish I had someone telling me, yo, just scroll through Apple Store and see what you have access to. Download all of those apps. Work Wow, right? WORKWHILE. That is another app that, right, I'm actually going to do a video because that's an app that in my area, I just accidentally had updated it and I started to get notifications because it picked up on my new location. Jobs are out there. So if you have ever worked at a temp agency, you don't know, you're like, well, are temp agencies still around? One, they are. Temp agencies still exist. So if you're looking for temporary work, you're out here applying for jobs, you're going here, you're going there, no one is applying and no one's hiring you. Look and see what temp agencies are there. But if you look at apps like WorkWow or InstaWork, you're going to be able to see there are companies that have created accounts with these apps. They're looking for temporary workers, someone to work on a Monday, 8 hours, and you get paid. You're a 1099 contractor. So they're not taking out your taxes. And this is where you're going to learn also, because I'm also going to partner with one of my friends who's an accountant, to give you the resources so that you would know how to properly protect yourself, so that when it's time for taxes, you know how to maneuver that way. You'll have a little bit extra so that if you do get a bill from Uncle Sam for $300-400, you already have that money to the side because you did the right thing. So don't run away from that. Don't get scared of 1099. Don't get scared of this. Don't think that this is not possible. It's just having the right information and being guided in the right way. Everyone doesn't have your best interests. But guess what? I know that I wish I had a person like me that was giving me extra gems. See, there's a lot of things I already knew on my own. I knew how to take my talents, my skills, and abilities. But again, you're waiting for consumers to call and to sign up for you. But if you literally just take matters in your own hand using the same device that you're watching this video on, especially if you are on a smartphone, you will be able to solve a lot of those problems, just like that message that I shared with you this morning. This woman said that literally she had nothing. Car was declining. And she just realized, like, you know what, God got me. And she turned on all of her apps. She was a Uber Eats driver, she was a DoorDash driver, and she did Instacart and ended up making $400 by the end of, she didn't say the time period, but she ended up making $400. She ended up being able to turn that decline into an approval, into it is accepted. Y'all got to start thinking outside of the box. Yes, a new job can definitely solve a lot of problems, right? A new job. That is so funny. Oh my God. The things that people write on YouTube, y'all be saying anything. Lost my train of thought. But I just want you to don't make excuses. Don't think that you're helpless. Oh, yes, what I was saying. Keep applying for the jobs, right? No one is saying not look for a new job. If a new job with more money is going to definitely be beneficial to you, please do that. But in the meantime, what are you doing? That's all that I'm going to ask you. In the meantime, what are you doing? Because sitting around being sad, being mad, being upset, that's not going to get you anything. It's not going to help you any faster. Sometimes we got to help ourselves. Sometimes you got to listen to the wisdom that's being poured into you and just take action. It's a difference is that if there were people out there that were saying, oh, I did it and I never made any money. I've never heard anyone say that they turned on Uber Eats or DoorDash or Instacart and they never made money. They might not have made what they wanted to make, okay? But if you started out with 0 and you ended up with 100, yeah, you did good. I shared this the last thing I had shared the other day on Facebook about how back in 2019 I had a job. It paid me. I paid my bills. You know, I wasn't behind in that aspect, but I didn't have the extra things. I had a speaking engagement coming up, and I was like, yo, I got to get my hair done. I can't go out there looking crazy. And so when I finished work on my way home, I was like, go on. Like I had booked the appointment, and I was like, I'm going on Uber Eats, and I'm gonna work tonight until I make at least $65 because my hair was $60. I turned off my phone after 3 hours, $77. Right? And so for some people, that's not even a lot of money. But I didn't have enough to pay for that before. And I'm talking about $77 after I refilled my gas tank. Right? I never really kept a full tank in New York anyway. Don't judge me. Right? But I was able to make $77 in 3 hours. I was able to log off and go to work the next day and then go to my hair appointment right after work with no problem. No one knew. It was no stress. I had access to something and I used what I had access to. I could have called around and I could have borrowed money, but I don't want to borrow, right? I want to be the one that's lending, not to be the one that's always borrowing. I hate to borrow from people, right? The last person I borrowed money from, we made an agreement. I'll pay you back on the 15th. They hitting me up on the 13th. Do you have my money? B, I said I'll pay you back on the 15th. It's the 13th. Can you give me 2 days? And from that experience, I was like, I don't want to borrow from people. So I'd rather ask God for the wisdom. Give me the wisdom so I can make some money. And now my only prayer, God, let's increase this passive income. The more that I wake up and I keep seeing people making payments, buying stuff while I'm sleeping, absolutely, we need more of that. But it took me time to get there. I had to start with using whatever I had access to. Some of y'all got a case of water right now. Yo, go outside. Okay, maybe not water. Now, this was 90 degrees. But go outside with a case of cold waters. You flip a $4 bag, well, $4 case of water to $40. If you charge $1 each, look, in New York, New Jersey, and probably California, they're probably charging $2 a bottle on the side of the road and making $80. But someone is going to be like, nah, that's crazy. Nah, they scamming you. How are they scamming you? If anything, they're scamming the system because they probably don't have a license and a permit. So yes, they're doing something wrong. But guess what? You were thirsty and they was there for you in a clutch. Okay? So you got to start looking at it. Everything is not a scam. Someone wants to talk. All right, multi-level marketing. Okay, that might be. Listen to them, ask questions. If it's not for you, move on to the next thing. But don't lump everything together as if everything is a scam, because it's not. If you're using any one of these services as a consumer, then you should also be on the other side making the money, especially when you don't have the money to make those purchases as a consumer. I'm just telling y'all. So Side Hustle 101 course, no matter when you sign up, as the course gets updated, you get access to all of the updates. So all of these new apps and these new creative programs that have really become popular, like DoorDash creative program, Walmart. I saw someone purchase yesterday. They got their first $30 payout for Walmart creative program. $30 just posting stuff that she purchases from Walmart. So if she went there and spent $100 and did a video on one product and made $30, like, who would not do this? This is the reason why you see some people who are constantly online, this product, that product, right? They're getting paid for that. And it's not $1. It's not $2. Like, people are getting paid $50, $60, $100. This is real life. This is stuff that can literally change someone from eating just, how much is ramen noodles nowadays? $1? To you being able to go to the store and buy you some chicken and have some substance and some vegetables. I'm just saying. So use that code 75. No, it's yes 75. It should be down in the description. Get that course. Get the information. Anyone that signs up this week will be able to join my last mastermind, because what I really like to, yes, I love the apps. We all going to tap into those apps, but I love to teach people how to take their gifts, talents, and abilities and turn them into ways to make money. That's what I like. I like to teach people that. That's what I do as a strategist. We're going to get all the foundational things, stuff that you can get started with, right? And then we're going to get to the ones that can literally make you money while you're sleeping. See, Uber Eats, you got to go do that. Instacart, you got to go do that. But wouldn't it be a great feeling if you woke up tomorrow morning after you put your product out there that you created, something that you're passionate about, something that you have a great interest in, something that you have a lot of knowledge on, and someone purchased it, whether it's for 99 cents or for $99. Like, the first time you get that feeling, it makes you want to get it more. And that's what I want to help people. So get the course this week. You will be invited to my last mastermind, where we're going to sit. I'm capping it at 20 people, because I want everyone to get some time to put their ideas, and we can help you flush it out. And then we're going to walk you through of what platform you can start to use to help you, how to start pricing it, how to start creating it. If you don't want to create it, where you can find to get some stuff that's already available for you. And all you got to do is tweak it. So it's better to have to tweak something than have to create every single thing. How to use AI. Like, I'm going deep into that mastermind. So get in the course using the promo code. You're paying less than $15. You're going to get value, like hundreds of dollars of value. So if that's something that you truly need, whether it's for something that you need or something that you want, there you go. I'm the girl. That's who you need to work with. That's who you need to work with, because I'm not going to teach you stuff that I didn't do. Everything that I've taught you, everything I talk about, the only thing I've never done, I'm going to be 100%, I've never done Instacart. Never done it. I have a bad back. And in New York City, too many people live in walk-ups. And everybody want cases of water. And I knew I was not going to be able to do that. Right? So I also talk about that. I talk about that in the course. Know your limits. Don't sign up for something knowing that you're physically unable to do this, because now you're going to be upset. Right? You're going to be upset because, people want you to bring their stuff. My sister, when she was ordering during the pandemic, they live in a 4th floor walk up. She would do Instacart. She wanted those people to bring the stuff to the top. She did. And she tipped them really well. So there's no excuse. I bypassed that and I just stayed over at Uber Eats, right? And DoorDash. And I just did that. I did what was comfortable for me. That's the beautiful part about all of this. If you don't like certain things, or if certain things are not popular in your area, then let's try something else. There's always a way. You just have to see the way, and you have to see that this is possible. That's it. So I am your girl, Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. Like I said, I'm here every Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. ish. So probably like 7:05, 7:10. But keep the notifications, hit that like button. I appreciate everyone who is here, who was commenting, who was engaging, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And as always, I love you. God loves you. And stay tuned and listen to this quick message.
Man, that was another great message, Tanisha. Listen, friends, if you are not watching Morning Inspiration with Friends with Tanisha, then you are missing out. Hit that subscribe button and even share with a friend, because this is the best way to start your morning. Check Tanisha out every Monday through Friday around 7 a.m. CT time. You will not be disappointed.